Burning rubbish for energy produces toxic ash and smoke and undermines Victoria's recycling efforts, but in December the government doubled the waste-to-energy cap to 2 million tonnes a year, which would give us between 1 and 3 tonnes of additional greenhouse gas emissions every year. And we don't need yet another fire or flood to tell us that this is precisely not the kind of climate action we need. Why is the government doubling the planned emissions of its proposed waste-to-energy incinerators when what Victoria really needs is for emissions to go down?
Order! 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 The Minister for Climate Action will be heard in silence. Minister.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And I thank the member for Brunswick for his questions. But the fact is this: I mean, you argue that somehow emissions are going up. They are not, Speaker. The emissions, in fact, in Victoria are going down, Speaker, and our emissions are reducing at amongst the fastest rate in the country, Speaker, because of the actions that we've taken to reduce our emissions profile right across our economy. When it comes to waste and landfill and technologies that can assist with resource recovery and recycling, certainly my very good friend and the Minister for the Environment is doing a sterling job in the recycling system that Victoria has, which we are very, very proud of, Speaker, the best in the country. Can I say that I absolutely dispute the assertion that the member for Brunswick makes that the policy changes that have been made towards the end of last year will result in increased emissions. They are not. I think they need to have a look at the facts, because the facts sometimes are inconvenient to those opposite, the Greens, because the facts are these, Speaker. We have ambitious emissions reduction targets in our state. Every target that we have set, we have met, and we will continue to do the hard work, the diligent work based on evidence and facts to continue to reduce our emissions while growing our economy. And when we grow our economy, when we reduce our emissions, we're actually providing greater job opportunities for every Victorian across the state. We're doing this in a way also that is reducing people's costs, our energy bills, and we are doing it in a way that is enduring, Speaker. Others can make commentary, others can have their wish lists, but, Speaker, when it comes to the facts and the evidence, the work that we've got underway in this state is the envy of the rest of the country, and we will continue to demonstrate our effort by continuing the work that we have done and growing the activities that will lead to us achieving our emissions reduction targets.
Member for Brunswick on a supplementary question.
Thank you, Speaker. The Minister appears to be confusing the decline in states' emissions with the emissions from these projects, most of which haven't started. They're not producing emissions because they haven't started. The Minister, I understand, has signed a petition opposing at least one of these projects. Unless I've misheard, the Minister may have even said that they won't produce emissions at all, but it's impossible to burn 2 million tonnes of rubbish without producing over 1 million tonnes of emissions. So my question for the Minister is, what is the government doing to reduce or eliminate emissions from this project?
Order. The member for Melbourne will come to order. The Premier will come to order. The Minister will be heard in silence. The Minister for Climate Action.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And I think the member for Brunswick would do well to actually explain which emissions he's talking about, because the question to the Minister for Climate Action, I take it, is about carbon emissions, and I've been very clear that handling the waste system in a way that recycles, reuses all of the materials you can.
Minister will resume her seat. Minister will resume her seat. Order. The member for Melbourne will wait for the call. Member for Melbourne will be heard in silence. Point of order, member for Melbourne.
Thank you, Speaker. On relevance, it's very clear that this question is about the carbon emissions from a specific project, and I assume that that is something that is of interest to the Climate Action Minister, who's responsible for carbon emissions.
Order. The Minister was being relevant to the question.
We are talking about a system-wide approach to emissions reduction. If you want to pick on one item or one, go ahead. obviously if you get your jollies on that, but what I get my jollies off on, Speaker, every single day is working hard to have the actions in place that when you look at a systems-wide approach, once you've reduced your waste, keeping it out of landfill through an industrial process, when you consider the whole of the emissions profile of that, you will see a reduction in carbon emissions, not an increase.
Order.
So cherry-picking your data doesn't work.